The first thing we're gonna do for this project is get the fabric stretched in the hoop. So go ahead and take your hoop, and we are going to release the inner ring from the outer ring. Now sometimes these can be a little bit stubborn, just takes a little bit of thumb strength. So I'm just pushing, sometimes I set this on a table, and I'm using my thumbs to roll that rubber ring off of the inner ring. Now that might have felt a little bit hard for you. It does get easier, especially once these are a little more stretched out, but we also want it to stay tight. So if you had trouble, you might need to do it a couple of times to get the hang of it, but that's good. We want it to stay tight. This little hook up at the top is purely decorative. If you tighten that screw or loosen it, it's not going to do anything to the tightness of your hoop. It's just there so that you can hang up your project when you're done. If you don't like the look of it, you can just take it out and get rid of it. So what we're gonna do first is take our fabric in our little square, and I'm going to just center that ring in that fabric. So I've got my fabric laying right on top of the ring. I wanna make sure I've got excess all the way around that hoop. So I'm not, moving my circle, my inner ring way up at the top or way over to the side or the corner. I want my fabric and circle centered. Now what I'm gonna do is take that outer ring and I'm gonna put it back on the inner ring. So what I like to do, again, on a table, is start at one side, and it might even help if you stand up, but I'm just gently pushing with the heel of my hand, getting that hoop back on. Use your thumb strength, there we go, okay? And you can see that just by pushing that outer ring onto the inner ring, it's already pretty tight, but I'm actually gonna go back and make it even tighter. So what I do is flip that over, and then I'm just pulling that fabric evenly all the way around my hoop. We want our fabric to be tight as a drum. If you threw a penny at it, it would be able to bounce off. That's the goal. So when you tap that fabric, drum tight. If it's got a lot of give to it, you need to try and tighten it again. Now, luckily, these hoops go on so tight that it is really actually pretty hard to not stretch the fabric tight enough in the hoop, but drum tight is what we're looking for. Now it's time to get the design onto the fabric. So what we're gonna do is lay the design on your table or a light box or a window. The lines on this pattern are pretty thick, so I really don't have any trouble seeing through my monk's cloth to trace them. And now I'm just going to trace my design with my marker. It is okay here if you mess up. Punch needle is extremely forgiving. So if you are not a Picasso and you even struggle to trace things, not a big deal, because it's going to be really forgiving on the front. So we're just going to go around, trace all those lines right in the center of that hoop. And we're done. Now that you have your design traced on your fabric, it's time to start punching. So grab your punch needle, your wire threaders, and your yarn. Meet me in the next video. We're going to talk about how to thread your needle.